Heyo, it's me, Harper Savage, and today we're taking on what I think might be a massive project. I was cleaning out my mom's closet recently and I discovered this. This is a coloring book based off of The Very Hungry Caterpillar. The twist is I've already colored in it, probably back when I got it. So there are some pages colored in here. I figured, why not finish it, right? You know, like 20 years later, if not more, to see if I improve, right? Oh god, I hope I improved. But yeah, I think I'm going to be using the same medium I used in this book, which was crayons, and I have a bazillion crayons, as you know from my comparing crayola crayons video. There's even some here that I didn't put in that video because I found them later, so we have a lot to choose from. Now, let's take a look at the inside of the book to see exactly where I stopped and what went wrong. Look at that fun smile. Oh my god. I already know what the problem was when I did the food here. It was the strawberries, because as you can see, I colored the apple in this color and I started to color the strawberry in this color. And it was the bane of my existence because for some reason growing up, we never had red crayons. We always had the raspberry one that looked like the red crayon at first glance. And it drove me insane as a child that we never had the red crayon. I don't know why. We did get Crayola branded crayons growing up. It's not like we got an off-brand or anything, but for some reason we would use the red up right away and then we would never have red crayons. So I think this is my breaking point where I was like, nope, I'm not doing this anymore. So we're gonna be starting here, not quite the middle of the book, a little bit less than, so most of the book is uncolored. So we're gonna color it today. And I probably will try to color in the backs of these, because I noticed I didn't do that. Probably because it was too hard to get into the gutter here of the book. Well, now that I have big adult hands, maybe I can do it. Alright, so let's get started. I'm not going to be coloring in on this page though, because I'm trying to preserve as much as the childness that I can. So I didn't color in the ground there, so I'm not going to color it now. So maybe I will not be coloring in the apple, but I'll color in the pears. Alright, so up front I do show a bit more of the process of how I color everything. But like later on in the bulk of the video, it's more gonna be like clips and stuff, because if I didn't do it that way, this video would be like a bazillion hours long, because this was like a all-day affair of me coloring in this coloring book. So I hope you don't really mind that it gets a little bit more choppy later on. So this would happen to me all the time, where I would think the red is different, but this one is the red. It's so weird. I'm actually gonna put when I did this page. Now, when I was showing you those like 3 shades of red, one of them was the raspberry one, but that was not actually the color that I thought it was. It was that other shade of red that was there, that was the bane of my existence that I mentioned earlier. Can't remember what it was called. Of course not, why would I? But I happen to have it. They still make this color that looks like red but isn't red. Oh god, I already broke a crayon. Why does this keep happening to me? I taped it together. Let's hope it lasts. Now, do I color the strawberry page or not? Because there's just one little scribble. I'm gonna try to make this color work for the strawberries. I don't know if I can get it there, but we will see. Now, that color there is the one I mentioned earlier of it looking like it was the red, but it's never actually the red. So I do end up using it in the strawberries. Broke another one. Not the red. I get to stop. So here's where the bulk of the video is. Now you saw that other camera angle, and that is the only time you will see it in the video, because for some reason that camera was messing up. It like was doing like weird artifacts. So I just tossed out all that footage and you get just the top view. Now I gotta say, I only did it for the strawberries, but I absolutely hated coloring the front and back of those fruit pages. I just thought it was kind of a waste of time. I colored it once, why do I need to color it again? And I'm sure that's what my childhood self thought too. That's why none of the backs of them were done. Now I want to get this out of the way before we get too far into the video and I forget to say it. When I do the reveal at the end, I'm not going to read the words on the page because one, I don't know if it's public domain or not for me to be able to read it. And two, I'm pretty sure almost everyone has seen this book before and they probably know what the story is and it's on screen most of the time anyways. And three, I try to avoid reading at all costs. Because I'm dyslexic, I have a hard time with reading and I would stumble over every other word, even if it is like a child's level of reading. But if you want to hear me stumble over words and stuff, you can go ahead and check out the Harper Rottage channel where I play video games and try to read all the dialogue of the games out loud so everybody can hear me stumble all the time. Now about that food page, I feel like my least favorite part was the salami. I just didn't have the colors, I feel, to make it. And then the leaf page, the leaf page alone took like over an hour because I wanted to color it really nice. Now I do say this like at the end of the video, but I didn't really enjoy working with the crayons. Like, I think crayons are actually pretty particular about the kind of paper they like to color on, even though they're like a children's product. Because I specifically remember crayons being a bit more smooth over paper, and it just didn't feel like that. It felt super dry, but maybe I'm just misremembering. And I kept breaking the crayons along the way too. I think I actually cut out a couple of breaks just because of how frequent it was that it was happening. I don't know if it's just my grip or like they just don't make them how they used to. And for this, I didn't really know how to color this thing in between the leaves. Is it like a branch? Is it like a tree trunk? That'd be like a really skinny tree trunk if it was. Now here I kind of sort of go for the traditional caterpillar colors on the front of the book. I keep with the green and red theme. I don't think I stayed with like the actual variation theme. Now I get to like this bluish color. It's like a greenish bluish color. I picked out a color that I thought would shade it well and it just didn't. And it looks like I didn't do any shading for that little section of the caterpillar. But because I already did it once, I was like, well, gotta do it again. Now the cocoon was challenging because, you know, when you make things that are kind of spherical or cylinderish brown, it looks gross. But I did my best to make it look like a cocoon with crayons. It wasn't easy. So growing up, I must have really liked this book. I don't really know why, other than the cool, like, concept of the holes in the page I thought was interesting. It's the same reason why I liked the rainbow fish growing up, because of the foil on the page. It was just new and unique, not necessarily because the story was any good. And you remember the rainbow fish, it's not actually a good story. If you had a favorite story growing up, what was it and why? Now, here we are at the butterfly page. You know, the page that's probably supposed to be the most beautiful of all the pages. By the time I got here, I was not feeling this anymore. I was kind of tired of coloring with these crayons. And so I didn't really color it to the best of my abilities, in my opinion. But I think it still looks better than if I were to have colored it when I first started to color this book back in my single digits. Alright, I'm all finished, so let's go ahead and flip through this. Starting with the first page. Still think the sun's face is hilarious. We got the purple apple. The pears is where I started here. I mostly did the backs until we got to the strawberries. I think the oranges are my favorite of the fruits that I colored. Then I spent a really long time on that leaf. And that's it. What do you think? Did I improve in the last 20 years? I think I had fun. The crayons were torture. I feel like the worst part about them was that they kept breaking. And for some reason, I have in my mind that crayons are smoother than they are, but they're like dry. But that's gonna be it for me. If you want to check out another cool video, you can go ahead and tap the thumbnail here. If you want to catch up on anything you missed, you can tap the thumbnail here. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to do all the cool YouTube-y things of comment, liking, and subscribing, and turning on that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!